Hello everyone, welcome back to Prep Talk podcast. I am your host Vartika Bhandari and this is episode number 4 which revolves around understanding AP Biology. For today's episode, we have with us to tell us finest biology and maths mentor Somendra Singh. Hi Somendra sir, how are you?
I'm good, Vartika. How are you doing?
I am good too. So, before we get on to more AP centralized questions, we would like to understand AP biology in your own words. How would you describe it?
So, in my own words, if I say AP Biology is one of those exams which, if you're really liking bio, then you'll be able to do it without any extra effort. The exam in itself is very theoretical. There are no numericals, which is why the exam can be perceived to be very hard, very difficult by some. Whereas at the same side, if you like bio, then you like this exam. It's not that hard, in my words. I mean, that's my experience with it.
Okay. So, moving on to our first question, who should take AP biology? Like, how would a student know that they should appear for AP biology?
So when a student selects the AP, subjects for them, these subjects should align to two things. One, what are they doing in school? What are they doing in their 11th and 12th class? Plus, the second thing is how does a particular subject align to what they want to do in the college? So, if you want to know whether you should be taking AP biology or not, biology should be at least your one of your subject in the school, or it should be aligning to some kind of course that you want to do in the college. If you don't fall in either of these categories and you still want to do it, then you should really like bio. Otherwise, see, I told you in the very first thing that the exam is very theoretical. Without having good keen interest in bio, it's difficult to go through the whole thing.
True. So, like for some student who are going for their medical, like in college, if they're opting
Yes.
for medical, they should go for AP Bio.
Yes, they can
Cool.
go for either a student can aim for going into the medical field, or they can
Mm-hmm.
try imagining themselves doing some kind of research in biochemistry or biotechnology. So many courses are there. So
Mm-hmm.
if one is aiming for that kind of future, then they can definitely be fit for this exam.
Okay. So, is AP Bio challenging?
That's a good question, because whether a particular subject is challenging or not depends on who exactly are you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like bio? Do you like reading a lot? Do you
Mm-hmm.
like illustrations? Do you like understanding how the whole living systems work? If you are those, one of those students, then you'll really like bio. It's not that hard paper. And how will you find it very hard? One, if if you are one of those students who just hit up a particular topic for once and then expect to know the whole thing, it's going to be very difficult for you. So it is not hard, depending on how much ready are you and how much interest you've got in the subject.
Okay, so talking about interest in AP, so according to you, what are the most crucial topics under AP Bio? Like, if a student is going ahead with appearing for the exam, so what are some topics that according to you, are very important for them to study?
So College Board divides different topics weightage in the exam. So there are total 8 topics, but if you don't have too much time to prepare and you really want to get a good mark, say a 4 or a 5, you should always start with these topics. I mean, because these topics that I'm going to talk about have the heaviest weightage in the paper. So, first topic that I would want to say is gene expression and gene regulation. It's a relatively new topic that they added, and it has got a very good, very high percentage. 12 to 16% of the whole exam is going to be from this topic. Second thing that you can try doing is natural selection. In a general term, you can call it evolution. It has got a whopping 13 to 20% of the whole weightage. Then once you're done with these two things, then you can always go for a cell communication and cell cycle. That also has 12 to 15% of weightage. Once you have gone through all these things, then you can always hit the other topics. For example, you can go for cellular energetics, cellular respiration, photosynthesis, signal transduction pathways, and all those things. So this is the hierarchy in which you should be trying to cover the topics given that you have so less time.
Okay. So, talking about a bit here about the preparation. So, when should a student ideally start preparing for, you know, appearing for AP Bio? How much time does AP Bio consume? In how much time, like the whole syllabus would be covered? And when should they start preparing ideally?
So the overall course content, I will go with respect to two dimensions: the
Mm-hmm.
dimension that takes in account the number of classes it takes,
Mm-hmm.
and the second one will be according to which how much time should be spent by the student on the concept itself. So
Mm-hmm.
going by the number of classes it takes for me to finish the whole course, I'd say it takes anywhere around 30 to 35 sessions. So if you divide that thing perfectly, then you'll understand that it takes roughly 3 to 4 months if you just go
Mm-hmm.
with the number of classes. But when I do one session, it has to be followed by a rigorous reading from the student side, because there are no numericals that you have to finish in a given week or something. It's a lot of reading. The more you read, the higher chances you'll get of getting the whole concept right. So ideally, comfortably, it should take 8 to 9 months, keeping in account the number of classes plus the number of hours or number of days it takes to read the content. So 8 to 9 months is the optimum time.
Okay, coming on to our last question of this podcast, what are some tips that you would like to tell our students who are going ahead for AP Bio exam that they should keep in mind?
Hmm. In order to get the maximum bang for your buck, I mean, if you are spending a lot of time in covering a particular concept, or for that matter covering the whole course, how
Mm-hmm.
to ensure that you are going to make maximum usage of it, and you'll be able to get maximum mark using your preparation. There are a few things that you can keep in mind in order to make your preparation efficient. One, whatever you study, whatever topic, for example, I aim for myself to study cellular respiration today.
Mm-hmm.
My aim will be to cover as much reading as possible from the school textbook or from some college textbooks. For example, there is this book that you can note down. The name is Campbell's Biology. It's a good book that covers all the things related to any biology concept. So whenever you are covering a topic, first of all, do a rigorous reading. While you read, don't just read it like a story and then expect to remember all the things after 2 weeks or so. When you're making some kind of reading schedule, then make a schedule for making the notes also side by side. So for example, I read that okay, the first product that we get after the very first step of cellular respiration is pyruvate. So I can't expect to remember this throughout the preparation span. So I'll just make a note of it. I'll organize my notes, and then whenever I want to revise the whole thing, I don't have to open the whole book. I
Mm-hmm.
just have to go through these notes. And so basically, in a nutshell, make notes of everything that you are doing. Second, make a plan. Make a plan as to which topic would you want to cover and in what order. If I am studying evolution today, I will not keep heredity or genetics after this. I'll always keep the heredity and genetics before evolution, so that evolution makes more sense to me. And even before all these things, if I have a lot of time, I'll properly start with biochemistry, which takes care of all the macromolecules that are there in the body, so that throughout the course only these macromolecules are going to be talked about. So make a plan, make notes, and once you are almost at the verge of covering 80% of the whole course, start taking some practice test. Time yourself. So make those kind of plans, and then you can expect that you will do good in the exam.
Okay, so that's it for this episode. We hope this was very informative for you and we have helped you to answer some of the questions that you had for AP Biology. We will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.